Good morning. It's Denzel from Castle Wash. Hope everyone's doing all right. We are just now receiving the outer bands of this hurricane, and there's still glare. It's completely overcast, can't see the sun, and my eyes still hurt. So I'm gonna put these back on. It's the day after the last video I posted, and I just wanted to talk to you guys this morning about going about your business in the proper way, because I was on Facebook last night. I'm on Facebook a lot now. I didn't used to be before I started my business. I'm on Marketplace though. I'm not looking at people's stories and crap. I could care less, but Marketplace, I enjoy going through and seeing things for sale and then trying to determine some sort of backstory to it. And for as many pressure washing groups there are 10 times as much brand new, lightly used equipment on the market being sold, and they're selling it for basically what you could buy it in the store. And my only deduction is that these are people who set out to do this, and they thought the equipment would bring the jobs, and that is obviously wrong. But now they're trying to soften that blow and sell their equipment and recoup their losses, and I'm here to tell them, like, that's not going to happen. You're selling your 4-gallon a minute belt drive for $1,500. Well, they're $1,500 brand new in the store. You're delusional if you think you're gonna get that. Sure enough, I see them. I'll see a post and then it'll go away, and then I'll see it reposted for the same price, like it's something new. And the person just can't let go of that pain they're trying to cover up because their business failed, or they quit. You know, like I said in my last video, the first year of pressure washing, you think you're just gonna get out there and do it, but it is dismal. It's lonely, and it's very frustrating because, well, for many reasons. I'll get into that later, but you gotta have a better base first, right? You gotta know where you are. You have to know, do people actually like things clean around them? Because it's not enough to have a hot air balloon service in the middle of a city. Like, you can't do that there. You're not allowed. And plus, people in the city that might not be something they care about. An artisan coffee shop? Absolutely. Inner city all day, artisan coffee. Pressure washing in a rural area where people have really no care about how their fence looks. They don't care that their driveway's dirty. There ain't no HOA to tell them to do it. They're probably not going to do it ever. There's places that have never been cleaned. I've seen them. And so once you figure out if people will actually pay you to do what you want, that's good. But you still have to have those jobs lined up. Hopefully well in advance. Hopefully you're a much better salesman than me, and you have different priorities in life, so you can get out there 5-6 days a week and sell jobs, because that's really what it's about, is selling jobs to fund that equipment purchase. And we all know that jobs lead to other jobs most of the time, but having jobs is not the full picture either, because you need to keep getting jobs, and you need to build reputation, and you need to build authority in your area, that you know what you're doing, you're not going to break anyone's stuff. And this is stuff that you've probably all heard before, but I'm the kind of person that I can hear the same thing from 10 different people, and one of them will stick really well. I'll dismiss the other 9, but one of them will really speak to me, and I'm like, okay, now I understand. And I can't believe I've done it any other way. That's how people are sometimes. I'm like that. maybe you are too. So I'm here to tell you that I personally was trying to do it the way I'm describing. I was paying for my website, I was getting it built, I was writing SEO, and I was using a little 2.5 gallon that I shoved in the back of my truck, bottles of bleach, buckets, X-jetting, all that stuff, and I was doing all right for a while. You know, I've been nothing short of blessed and helped by my parents. They were basically willing to fund my business from the ground up, which is something a lot of people don't have. And I'm not here to brag to you, but I am here to tell you that my parents are awesome, and I'm incredibly indebted to them. Some people don't have that. Some people have to do the whole, you know, basically homeless thing, drifter, trying to sell jobs. But everyone's situation is different. I was newly married. I was working a full-time job, as was my wife. And I thought, this is the perfect time to start growing this thing, so that when I'm tired of working at this place, the previous place, not the place I work now, the previous full-time job, I'll be ready to go. Well, we got rain coming up. Hope you can still hear me, because I'm going to keep talking. Yeah, so I had that whole thing planned out, and the business was taking from my personal finances only minimally. I was able to have jobs a couple times a month to pay for the website, pay for all my chemicals, and what in hindsight now I probably shouldn't have, but I was even able to pay myself a little bit. Every couple weeks I would get myself like 150, 200 bucks. Should I have just kept it in the business and not needed it? Sure. But the business would pay for it, and I had enough left in the savings tank, but that extra $150 to $200 that many times would have probably been useful for some things here and there. But overall, I was doing it what I consider the right way. And yeah, so that job didn't work out. I got let go for a multitude of reasons I was told, none of them I believe. That's a whole story. Maybe I'll tell you guys one day. It's actually really funny now in recent developments, but at the time I got let go and I was even more into building this business, I had just had a kid, my first son, my only son, and that's when I was let go. So that put me in a real weird situation where, well, damn, I can't really afford to not have a job and build this business that's still in its infancy. So what do I do? Well, I guess I'll get another job. Things worked out, but yeah, back to people buying the equipment before they have any idea of what they actually need to work. You know, if you don't have insurance, if you don't have an LLC, if you mess up someone's property, it can financially ruin you, because you won't be operating as I do, Castle Wash LLC. LLC, which means Denzel Greenwich, the owner, is not tied at the waist to the business. I run it, I own it, it's mine, I'm the dude, I'm the only person in the business. But if the business is gonna get sued or something, if I'm washing a house and my ladder falls off the side of the roof and cracks an AC unit, I'm not paying for that. My insurance will, and then Castle Wash will have a bigger insurance premium. It's as simple as that, but I'm okay. You guys don't understand how easy it is to financially ruin yourself on some dumb shit that a lot of you guys, I've seen a lot of guys in my area, like trailers, trucks, stuff is just ratted out, thrown everywhere. You're disorganized. You probably don't have a particularly good workflow. And I've seen guys get frustrated on the job and start yanking hoses. Let me tell you what happens when you yank a hose. That hose is like an 8-pound sledgehammer, and it hits everything around it. Your hose is stuck on a tree or stuck around a tree, and you yank that hose, you can break a limb off. You can snap one of those little shitty solar lights that people love to have. Most of them don't even work, but if you break it, you're damn sure going to buy another one. More than likely, that person is going to be like, well, it wasn't broken, now it is. Even if it didn't work, I want you to replace it. Now you're out of pocket. Again, that's why you need to have savings in your business. Don't just take all the extra for yourself. That right there will cover your ass. Speaking of yanking hoses, if you yank a hose on some concrete and get it caught and that hose snaps, ask yourself this question: are you out of a job? Do you have an extra hose? I got 100 feet of hose right behind me. I've got air pumps, I've got spare tires. Oh, my video cut off. Yeah, like I'm saying, you gotta have extras. I've got extra nozzles, I've got 2 lances, I've got 3 spray guns, all extra soft wash equipment. There's a guy, I can't remember his name, but he'll hammer you about having an extra pump. I got an extra pump. Already wired up and plumbed. Just gotta basically install it. But if you don't have that stuff, your business is done. If you're out, and if you, you know, especially if in your early days, if you're driving a half hour for your minimum charge, you need to make sure that when you get there, you can complete that job and leave, because there's nothing worse than driving to some far-ass little job twice because you couldn't complete it the first time. That is soul-sucking, and a lot of people I know would just quit that job. They'd be like, I'm not coming back. And a lot of people do. You know how many customers I've had that said, yeah, there was some guy doing this, and I can see where he quit, because it looks like he was wanding the entire driveway, big ass horseshoe driveway, and I'm like, I don't know how he thought he was gonna do this in his lifetime, but you know, he did about 10 square feet and dipped, and they've not been able to reach him. He's nobody. They got a first name only. You know, he probably blocked them because they tried calling him, and they're like, it won't go through. And I'm like, he probably blocked you because now you're a nuisance, just like, you know, he was to make your driveway look like this. And I got good ass equipment. Again, my parents really helped me out. I bought equipment that is good for the small stuff, but also if I keep getting some big jobs like I've had, it'll take no time at all. And that's important too. Not necessarily upgradability, but the more versatile your equipment is, that's something you really want to invest in. So, you know, to wrap it all up, don't go out and buy a big ass trailer and load it full of equipment just cause you have personal savings. You got 30 grand you want to throw at this business you're starting. Put it into a good website. You know, we have a small business development center. Go there, have them write you a business plan, have them work out your pricing structure for you. That's really good stuff to do. That's what I did. And there was no surprises when I knew how much I had to charge, how to keep track of my expenses, stuff like that. Even tax time. Tax time is what will get so many people in trouble, because you're not going to pay taxes on your income. You're probably not even recording it properly. You're going to get screwed. Like, the IRS is going to come after you. Like, they want their money. They want your money almost more than you want your money. Understand? So do all of the business things, the boring things. Get that stuff set up. Then you can act like a little boy on Christmas, and you can go out and get your big equipment and see how it works. But don't do that before you know what you're doing. You know? It's very important. I'll finish up more on this. I know I promised last video to get back on in the afternoon. This time I will, because this is very important. Because again, so many people on Facebook Marketplace selling good brand new equipment because their business failed. People, you know, the one thing you'll see, and it might be true for some people, but when you see, oh, you know, it works great, I'm just downsizing. I'm like, you're downsizing from a 4 gallon a minute to what? What are you running, like 4 of these and you want to cut back to 3? Like, what are you talking about? I just feel like they're lying, and they're just selling it because they couldn't get jobs or whatever. Used it twice. 1,400 oboe, and I'm like, nah, you're not gonna get that. You're gonna eat that pain and learn to properly invest in yourself, in your business first, and not just run out and buy equipment that's shiny. You know, people see that red Honda motor and they'll pay twice as much for it. It ain't twice as good. It's good. It's probably the gold standard that most people would base small engines off of, but it ain't twice as good. So just be wary. Maybe I'll talk about marketing and how you're marketed too. Not so much pressure washing marketing, because it is what it is, but maybe this afternoon I'll talk about how we are so heavily inundated with just stuff. Here's more stuff for you to buy. Hey, you're a pressure washer, you need stuff. We have stuff. Buy our stuff. Yeah, I get emails every day from shit that I didn't even look up. You know, pressure washing, chemicals. I'm getting emails now from some company down here that sells drones for washing skyscrapers. And they're not shy about it. They're like, yep, here's what we have. It's 20 grand. You know, it's 20 grand for this drone to wash skyscrapers. You can wash skyscrapers in half an hour with this drone. You know, we'll see if they're around. A lot of pressure washing guys don't like new stuff, especially the old guys who've been doing this forever. Like, I swear there's people that don't know what soft washing is, even though it's been around like 15 something years. People have no idea what soft washing is. So, but hey, if you're a soft washer, that's where you can really have an edge and explain it to people around you. And if you do a good job, like I said in the last video, if you do a good job practicing your sales, when you actually talk to somebody, you can really let them have it, and you'll get paid to do that too. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for listening.